Just wanted to start by giving a very quick picture of what SKA is. So SKA will comprise two telescopes, two radio telescope arrays. SKA Low, which is more than 130,000 dipole antennas in Western Australia, and SKA Mid, which is 197 mid-frequency dishes in Southern Africa. It's a global project, a global partnership. The headquarters for the observatory are at Jodrell Bank in the UK, and there are currently 16 partner countries. So there are 7 full members in the project and many other countries who are in various stages of partnering and joining the observatory. We have approval now from the Observatory Council as of last Friday to start construction of the first phase of SKA. So that's a huge milestone for us. We'll be doing that over the next 8 years, and we have an operations model that spans 50 years. Importantly, the operations incorporate the remote sites in the Murchison region of Western Australia and in the Karoo in South Africa. We have science operations centres, which will be located in Perth for the Low Telescope and in Cape Town for the Mid Telescope. And the headquarters in Jodrell Bank. And there's also an associated SKA regional centre network. And these are essentially computing centres. Those are the points of contact for the science users of the SKA. In terms of the sustainability commitment of the observatory, we identify 5 core observatory values, and sustainability is one of those. And the wording around this is that we take a long-term view and ensure sustainability is integrated into everything that we do, both globally and locally. And our approach to sustainability is consistent with the United Nations definition, which is that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The United Nations identifies a range of sustainable development goals, and this is a very broad concept, and you can see those 17 goals represented here. If you look through those and think about what's relevant to the SKA, where can the SKA contribute, what do we need to really think about, you come up with a significant number of those that are directly relevant. I'm going to concentrate really on 3 of those in the rest of this talk. So responsible consumption and production, climate action, and partnerships for the goals. Sustainability is not only one of the core values, it's something which is referenced in the foundational documents that outline what the observatory is about. It's referred to in the convention, which is the treaty between the member governments that create SKA, and in the prospectus, the construction proposal, and the observatory establishment and delivery plan, which together outline everything that the observatory is aiming to deliver over the next 10 years and then further into the future. And these are publicly available documents. You can find them from the SKA website. It's important when you think about sustainability of an observatory that we're always trying to deliver positive impacts. And in particular for the SKA, it's transforming our understanding of the universe and our place in it. And it's also driving innovation and technical development. So in astronomy and beyond astronomy. And just to note that independent studies predict the net impact of the SKA will be overwhelmingly positive. And William Garnier gave a talk about some of those broader impacts earlier in this conference. I want to turn though to SKA's environmental footprint. And it's easy to identify a number of contributors to our environmental impact, and in particular CO2 emissions. And I've just listed some of those here. I won't go through them all, but what I want to concentrate on is the fact that it's electricity consumption by the antenna arrays and by the computing facilities, which is by far the largest source of CO2 emissions from SKA activities. So we currently estimate at least 90% of the CO2 generated by SKA activities will come from these sources. So we've taken the approach of concentrating on that and essentially investing the greatest effort where it will have the most impact. But this is not the only effort. I do want to emphasize that. So a key is to minimize power consumption by the observatory from the start. And some of the ways that we've done that, or are aiming to do that, is that we developed an observatory power budget. And that power budget then is broken down into an allocation of electricity usage for each of the work packages for the observatory. And that becomes a design requirement for each of the teams that are designing and will ultimately build the different elements of the observatory. And by taking this approach, we estimate that we've reduced the energy requirements to deliver ALMA by about, to deliver SKA, apologies, I worked at ALMA for a while, reduced the requirement by about 50% from what it would have been had we not adopted this budget and allocation approach. And it's the electricity that we don't need, it's the electricity that we don't use that actually has the largest impact on reducing our footprint. The next thing that we concentrate on then is that we want to implement sustainable and affordable power generation for that electricity that we do use. And so it's a complicated picture because of the fact that we have activities that are across a number of sites. The contexts at those sites are different. There's the site for SKA Mid, which does have a grid connection. The Science Operations Centre and the Computing Centre for Mid in Cape Town will have grid connectivity. The low site in Australia has no grid, so we have to be completely standalone. The Science Operations Centre in SPC in Perth has grid connectivity. One of the key requirements for a radio telescope is that whatever we do with respect to power, we have to minimize the radio frequency interference that's generated by our power infrastructure, because that will compromise the ability of the observatory to actually do astronomy and deliver astronomy results. The radio astronomy community does have some experience in this. This is a power station built in Australia at the SKA site, which provides the power for the Australian SKA Pathfinder. This is a photovoltaic array with a capacity of around about 2 megawatts. There's a 2.5 megawatt hour battery energy storage system, and there are diesel generators that accompany that as part of our hybrid generation system. It's achieving something like 60% of sustainable sources for the electricity generated for ASCAP. This rather busy diagram is a representation of the site of the SKA Mid telescope in South Africa. And the colours here show the natural screening of radio frequency emissions at the location of each of the SKA Mid antennas. The antennas are distributed, the majority of the antennas are in the core region here, and then the antennas are distributed out along these long quasi-spiral arms. The darkest areas show where the largest natural screening of radio frequency interference occurs. So here we're looking at two possible locations for a largely photovoltaic and battery power station. One is in this area here where the natural topography gives you significant screening towards all of the antennas. And the other location that we're looking at is right up here to the north. The blue line is a possible route for a new power line to be constructed, joining up with an existing high voltage power line there in the north. For the site of the Science Operations Centre in Cape Town, we're looking at the implementation of, again, a very substantial photovoltaic generation capability on site, both standalone here on this part of the site and on the roof of the new building to be constructed, together with the South African Radio Astronomy Observatory. Now, I mentioned earlier that alongside the SRC, there will be this network of SKA regional centres. Through this network, the SKA member countries are expected to pool the resources necessary to exploit SKA data products. This sits outside the observatory. It's not actually part of the observatory. We don't control it. We don't fund it. It will host very substantial computing facilities. And so importantly, we're aiming to work with the partners in the SRC network for mutual benefit, particularly in terms of sustainability. And the key partners in Australia and in South Africa are CSIRO and SRAO. And we're aiming to work with them to minimise the consumption and to maximise the use of sustainable sources for generating power for those activities as well. There's a number of other very visible and important actions that we're undertaking. The electricity for the headquarters of the SKA Observatory draws from 100% renewable sources, and sustainability, power minimisation and CO2 impact minimisation was a design requirement for the headquarters building. We're aiming to minimise unnecessary travel and have just recently hosted an SKA Pathfinders science meeting in which we had 950 virtual participants, which is fantastic. And this meeting is another example of that. I think we all need to work very hard to pursue virtual and hybrid meeting options in the future to minimise the global travel that's associated with those sorts of activities. In the longer term, we are absolutely committed to monitoring and reporting on measurable environmental impacts of the observatory, because it's by doing that we make visible the emissions and the impacts, and therefore can drive to further improve our performance there. So thanks. That's the main content of the presentation. For a little bit more information, there is an FAQ page on the SKA website that people might like to follow up. And I'll just put up on the screen as I finish some other references that people may wish to go to get some more information.